that clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, Boruto chapter 80. Now this right here is gonna be a bit weird because my first reactions was in that Sarda video. You guys are gonna get a much more calm, analytical Baara, but the spoilers right here actually did contain a bunch, and it seems like it might actually be the last chapter of part 1, which is insane. Part 1 of the anime recently ended, and it kind of definitely makes sense that part 1 of the manga will kind of end, mainly because you probably want a lot of designs to come out in manga format first before the anime gets to it. But into the first part, I mean, it essentially picked up where the last chapter kind of dropped off, with Kawaki telling Ada the quote-unquote plan, now essentially telling her that, hey, Boruto killed Naruto, and now Shikamaru was on the phone with Ada, and Ada kind of relayed that information to Shikamaru, and Shikamaru kind of relayed that over the loudspeaker, and now everybody's essentially hearing that. Now it says that Sarada breaks down after hearing that Boruto has killed Naruto. Kawaki also reiterated that he could keep Naruto sealed until he kills Boruto, so he's kind of still sticking with that same idea. And I know this is going to kind of seem repetitive, but I understand where the Boruto writers are coming with this, man, because Kawaki's a fickle guy, so us constantly being reminded of Kawaki's actual plans, that's going to be key, not only right now, but also especially to post time skip. Like, what is Kawaki thinking about? Kawaki post time skip might even be like a scientist. Like, we don't know. Like, he might even take on that Orochimaru role. Like, let's be honest. But here's where things get serious. This right here is going to be some big plot points right here. So it basically says that Sasuke finds Sarada, and then Sarada tells Sasuke that Mitsuki wants to kill Boruto, and then Sasuke essentially kind of like hugged Sarada and basically said it's only natural, quote unquote. And this right here essentially tells us that, hey, Sasuke is actually under the control of Ada. Now this right here is something that we kind of assume that wouldn't necessarily be the case, just because the fact that, one, he's related to Sarada, and two, he's possibly does still have some stage 6 pass chakra, which does kind of give him a small percentage of an Otsutsuki member, so you never know. But now we actually do get a scene of Boruto versus Team 10, and I think this right here, when it comes to the anime, is probably going to take on like a different, oh my goodness, I did it again, bro. When it comes to the anime, it's not coming to the anime. The anime is over. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this comes to some sort of animated format. If it does come in the form of a flashback and it's just like glossed over, I'd be so mad. And I didn't necessarily talk about this. I might even make a full video about if part 1 ended too soon, but hopefully they do this justice, because Boruto versus a Team 10 with Boruto's scar, like this right here just seems like prime anime content, bro. I'm sorry, because if you guys do recall, at the Chunin exam we did see Shikamaru beat Boruto, and now this right here is essentially like, I don't necessarily want to call it a rematch, because a rematch would be, ironically, when Boruto was trying to leave the Hidden Leaf Village one of the first times, and then Shikamaru kind of stopped him. But this right here is the rematch of that, where Boruto's ironically trying to leave the Hidden Leaf Village again, and Shikamaru stops him. But that's besides the point. The next panel, Sumire and Sarada basically starts chopping it up, and I think this right here is kind of where we understand that Sumire and Sarada, they're going to be the two core guys that are pretty much going to be helping out Boruto for the foreseeable future. Now, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't necessarily think it would be like a crazy thing if Boruto leaves the village and one of these guys stays back in the village. I think that right there is definitely possible, but I still do believe that two of them may even be low-key on the side of Boruto. But in these panels, Sumire is just basically telling Sarada the situation that, hey, everyone else is under the spell. Now, I do believe that there's probably going to be some other outliers out there that's probably not necessarily going to be under the spell, but as of right now, it seems like it's going to be very rare, and once we do find that, it's probably going to be like a very, very big thing. They're probably going to be very critical to the storylines. I think depending on who it is, I mean, they can make it like a very, very interesting storyline to see exactly who isn't necessarily under the control of Ada. And remind you guys, some of them might even be pretending to be under the control of Ada, because if Ada finds out that anybody isn't under the control, she might actually view them as a threat. But later on, it does say that Sarada is desperately trying to convince Sasuke that Boruto isn't the bad guy, and it turns out that Sasuke actually listened. I mean, this right here, it could possibly be a result of the Mangekyo Sharingan. And again, I made a full video about the Mangekyo Sharingan, detailing my full excitement about the Mangekyo Sharingan. You guys are probably not necessarily gonna get that big of a reaction right now, but this right here is absolutely insane. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry, getting her Mangekyo Sharingan, it was huge for multiple reasons. One of the biggest reasons is the fact that I think that a lot of side characters were kind of getting very, very much forgotten. I personally do believe that Sarada is a side character that should not be forgotten. I think that even in the full scheme of things, she should be significantly more important than Sakura was in Naruto. Honestly, I understand that Kawaki is going to be the number 2 guy. I think that Sarada definitely should have some key moments, and I think her getting her Mangekyo Sharingan is one of the first steps to her possibly getting some key moments. Now, I understand that a lot of people are probably going to feel some type of way about Sarada getting her Mangekyo Sharingan the way that she kind of got it. I understand that, to be honest, and I'm not necessarily even going to say they're completely wrong, because if you do kind of look at it, I mean, in comparison to a lot of the other Uchiha members, she didn't necessarily go through the same amount of struggle. The reason why I like it is because of contextually it does make sense for Sarada to get significantly stronger, for her to get stronger in a situation like this. It kind of does show her care for Boruto, and also shows her care for Sasuke, or kind of going against Sasuke. It's going to be a very big question as to how she actually did get her Mangekyo Sharingan. Was it because she went against Sasuke? Was it because everybody was trying to kill Boruto? Was it a combination of both? These are going to be a bunch of questions that we're probably going to dive much more into in the next 3 months, and honestly, I'm super excited to do that. But as of right now, I'd still say that I understand the criticisms that this right here is probably going to get, but to be honest, I really don't mind it, just because it's the fact that we needed Sarada to get some sort of character development, and I understand that we were probably not necessarily going to have like a full-blown arc for Sarada. Do I wish she would have guided the other couple of times that Boruto quote-unquote died? 1000%. I think those would have been times that were significantly more warranted, especially the time during the hit and miss build when she was kind of forced to actually be the one to possibly, you know, push Boruto overboard. That would have been, like, by the book, one of the best times to actually give Sarada the Mangekyo Sharingan. And those were kind of missed opportunities, in my personal opinion. You know, a lot of people do bring up the fact that a lot of the anime only, or the anime canon, is quote-unquote filler. These are the times to actually have people put respect in the anime canon's name. They had the opportunity, they didn't do it, but her unlocking it right here, better late than never, 1000%. But again, she's essentially basically pleading to Sasuke, like, Papa, please help Boruto. And now it seems that Sasuke actually did adhere to it. It says that Sasuke swoops in to take Boruto away. He tells Boruto about the first time that he met Kawaki and how he became his apprentice and how he defeated Momoshiki. Ada sees all this and decides to go after Sasuke and Boruto. Now, again, this right here is essentially kind of going on with the same thing, and I think this right here is going to be a very, very good moment, regardless of anime or manga, because Boruto's finally going to find out how Sasuke feels about him. Even though Sasuke's going to be saying Kawaki, but he's still technically talking about Boruto. Sasuke tells Boruto that he doesn't trust his own memories because Boruto's holding his headband. Sasuke tells Boruto that he trusts his daughter and would risk his life to help Boruto if that's what she wants. I think this right here means so much. One of the things I've been pleading for is Sasuke to, one, stay alive, because I think, I don't know why, but there's been this swell of people that want Sasuke to potentially die in this in one of these last chapters. It makes no sense. Sasuke has to be alive to actually help Boruto throughout his missions, and I think this right here is a sign that it will actually happen. This is a sign that the Boruto writers and me are on the exact same page, I ain't gonna lie. But in the next panel, it says that Momoshiki is pissed. It says that he says what has happened cannot be overturned. He demands Boruto give him his body and stay shut out forever. Boruto doesn't break, and Momoshiki in a way applauds his mentality. Ada comes in to apologize. So this right here is going to be an absolutely huge moment. I don't know if this right here is specifically what Momoshiki was talking about, because if you guys don't recall, originally Momoshiki was essentially talking about there was going to be a time where Boruto is going to be driven into a corner where he is going to actually be willing or want to actually give Momoshiki his body. If there was going to be a time where it's going to be a specific change where Boruto quote unquote lost everything and then actually did want Momoshiki to actually take over his body, it would kind of be a specific time like this, and Momoshiki's face looked like he was 1000% ready for the action. Like, it seems like this right here was definitely the time. So I don't know if this right here is specifically the time. I think originally or outwardly it's going to look like it, but I still would say that it's possible that this right here isn't necessarily specifically what Momoshiki was talking about in regards to a time that Boruto would be, you know, driven into a corner. 1000%. This is where Boruto loses everything, but him being driven into a corner, I'm not sure. But the chapter pretty much ends like that, with Boruto essentially talking and stuff. He basically saying Boruto smiles even in the face of despair. He says he has the blood of his father, mother, and grandfather running through his veins. There's bump Hiyashi, bump his other grandfather, bump his grandmother, just bump everybody. But yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I guess Boruto does have like a legendary bloodline and everything like that. But he starts talking his stuff, and this right here, in my personal opinion, if it is the last chapter of part 1, I think it was definitely a decent chapter. It was definitely a good last chapter of part 1. But let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.